Hola y un saludo a todos los estudiantes que están tomando la clase de español 222. En este video vamos a hablar de las frases con sí, if clauses, and we will look specifically at two kinds of if clauses, two kinds of frases con sí, the possible ones and the hypothetical ones. We're going to start with the possible ones. Frases con sí posibles. In this kind, the part that is introduced by sí, that is introduced by if, goes in the present. And the other part of the sentence, the part that is not introduced by if, by sí, goes in the future. Here you have some examples. Si tengo tiempo, iré al cine esta noche. Or you can switch that and start with the second part of the sentence. Iré al cine esta noche si tengo tiempo. In any case, the part that is introduced by si, whether it comes at the beginning or whether it comes second, has the verb in the present. In this case, tengo. And the other part of the sentence, the one that is not introduced by si, whether it comes second or whether it comes at the beginning, has the verb in the future. In this case, iré. Now this if clause is possible. If I have time, si tengo tiempo, I will go to the movies. Iré al cine esta noche. But if I don't have time, I won't go to the movies. There is a certain possibility that I will go to the movies if I have time. Let's now look at the second kind of phrase with if, the second kind of frase con sí. Las frases con sí hipotéticas, the hypothetical ones. In this kind, the part that is introduced by sí uses the verb in the imperfect subjunctive. And the other part of the sentence, the part that is not introduced by sí, has the verb in the conditional. This is why it is very important that you go over the endings for the conditional, for the imperfect subjunctive, and for the future. Let's look at an example here. Si tuviera tiempo, iría al cine esta noche. Or we can switch the order and say, iría al cine esta noche si tuviera tiempo. In both cases, the part that's introduced by si has the verb in the imperfect subjunctive, tuviera. And the other part, the part that is not introduced by si, has the verb in the conditional, iría. This is a hypothetical if clause. I am not going to the movies because I don't have time. But if I had time, I would go to the movies. If I had time, si tuviera tiempo, I would go to the movies. Iría al cine esta noche. We say that this kind of if clause is hypothetical because in reality, I am not going to the movies. I am not going to be able to do this. I know that I won't be able to do it. But if I had time in that condition, under that hypothesis, then I would do the activity. I would go to the movies. So, as you can see, we have looked at two different kinds of if clauses. Dos tipos de frases con sí. Las frases con sí posibles, con el presente y el futuro, y las frases con sí hipotéticas, con el imperfecto de subjuntivo y el condicional. You have to be very careful with this part of grammar. You have to be very careful with phrases that are introduced with sí, because the meaning is not exactly the same. In the phrases with sí that are possible, there is a possibility that I will be able to do the activity. In the hypothetical phrases with sí, that possibility is not there. But if I had the chance to do something, then I would do it. Muchas gracias. Espero que esto sirva para clarificar un poco las frases con sí. Gracias por su atención. Se despide el profesor Antón García Fernández.